Governance without a governor. You sit through 3 meetings, refresh 2 dashboards, and still hear, no one decided that. Meanwhile, the notifications keep arriving, approvals keep stalling, and the checklist keeps moving the goalposts. When nobody appears to be in charge, governance hasn't disappeared. It has relocated into distributed rules, metrics, queues, permissions, defaults, and scripts that shape what can happen and what cannot. The impact is real authority without a face, decisions that feel inevitable and therefore unaccountable. Distributed decision-making often begins as a practical response to scale. One person cannot review every request, so a workflow is built. Submit a form, get a score, wait in a queue, meet a threshold, receive an approval. On paper, it looks neutral, just process. In practice, it becomes a ruling structure because it defines the path of least resistance. Start with incentives. Teams are rewarded for speed, consistency, and risk reduction, so they encode those goals into rules. A metric becomes the proxy for good judgment: response time, error rate, cost per case, engagement. The feedback loop is simple. What gets measured gets optimized. What gets optimized becomes the new standard. The new standard justifies the next layer of automation. Over time, the system teaches everyone what matters by what it rewards. Now name the constraints. There is always at least one hard constraint: limited time, limited staff, limited budget, limited attention. A queue is a constraint. A permission gate is a constraint. A template is a constraint. These constraints are not merely administrative, they shape reality. If the only way to get help is to fit your situation into a drop-down menu, the drop-down governs what kinds of lives the system can recognize. Then, the trade-off appears. Consistency trades off with discretion. Speed trades off with care. Risk control trades off with access. Standardization trades off with the ability to treat rare cases with dignity. When systems choose defaults, they are not avoiding judgment. They are making judgment repeatable. Who benefits? Often the organization benefits from predictability. Fewer exceptions, fewer escalations, cleaner reporting, lower liability, easier staffing. Individuals inside the process benefit too. The rule provides cover. The system requires it becomes protection from conflict and from blame. Who bears the cost? The cost tends to fall on those whose needs are complex, non-standard, or urgent. People who do not fit the form, who cannot wait in the queue, who lack time, language, access, or social leverage. They pay in delays, in extra paperwork, in the humiliation of repeating themselves, in outcomes that look fair on a spreadsheet but are harmful in a life. This is how governance without visible rulers works. Power is exercised through constraints that feel objective. And because the authority is distributed across tools, teams, vendors, policies, and best practices, responsibility becomes diluted. Everyone touches the decision. No one owns the decision. Responsibility is distributed, not dissolved. This kind of hidden rule system changes what people can attend to. Instead of asking, what is needed here? Attention is pulled toward what will clear the queue. Instead of listening, attention goes to fields, tokens, and thresholds. Agency narrows to whatever the interface allows. Dignity is not only about outcomes, it is also about how a person is seen. A system that cannot perceive your context forces you to translate your life into its categories. That translation can be a quiet form of harm. It teaches people to minimize themselves to be processed. And authority becomes confusing. When no one appears to be in charge, people start blaming the system as if it were weather. But the system is a record of choices: what was constrained, what was ignored, what was optimized. Systems reveal truth through what they permit, constrain, and ignore. If an exception requires 5 approvals, the system is saying exceptions are unwelcome. If the dashboard treats distress as tickets, the system is saying distress is primarily throughput. In that environment, responsibility shifts from an active practice to a passive posture. People feel less accountable because their actions are mediated by rules. People feel less empowered because their requests are mediated by rules. The relationship between humans becomes indirect, managed by notifications and checklists, until it starts to feel like nobody is talking to anybody, even when messages are constant. Notice where you most often hear "that's just the process," and consider what that sentence makes invisible. Who set the defaults? Who can override them? And who cannot? Name the constraint that is driving the rule: time, staffing, risk, attention, and name the trade-off it silently enforces. Notice what you are being trained to pay attention to, the dashboard, the metric, the queue position, the template. Consider what human reality is being translated away so the system can stay consistent. Name the cost, not just the benefit. When nobody seems to be in charge, the rules are still governing. They are simply wearing the mask of neutrality. Responsibility can remain clear, even when power has no face.